Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Mega Man 5 tournament. My name is Mellow Flows. We got two racers here tonight, Kumba versus TempestMask1000. Both of these two individuals, they don't have a run on the board, so I have no idea how this is going to go. Kumba is actually known for running ROM hack Mega Man games, and TempestMask, he runs different Mega Man games. I mean, he does run like some Mega Man 6. I've had some Mega Man 6 races with him, so I know he has a lot of heart and he can definitely hold his own. And Kumba, he's just used to all of the weird ROM hack stuff, shenanigans that can happen. So definitely can't count either one of these runners. And we're gonna be getting started in just a moment. So just hang out for a bit. Okay, so I'm going to be counting them down, and we'll begin shortly. So if everyone's ready, and I'm getting the virtual thumbs up from our runners, we are going to start now. And let me give them the countdown. And we are off. We are going to have them reset really quick because Mega Man 5 is a bit weird if you let the cutscene play. So we want to make sure that they reset in time and begin the run before they watch any part of the cutscene. And yes, this is going to be a best of 3. Alright, so good luck to both of our runners. So Mega Man 5 is a pretty unique game out of the classic Mega Man games. The run is pretty much built around using the Super Arrow, which is a utility that we acquire here after beating Starman stage. So that is why Starman is that's the first reason why Starman is the first stage. Also, it's pretty easy to do with only the Buster. His weakness is the Water Wave, which isn't too useful throughout the stage and isn't even that useful for the boss fight. So this route works out just fine. And you're going to see our runners collect these letters throughout each of the 8 Robot Master stages. It's going to be spelling Mega Man or Rockman if they're playing on the Japanese version. And when they get all 8 letters, they will unlock an extra weapon, Beat, which is a cute little blue bird who can do hella damage. And you'll see why later on. Oh, did Kumba skip the letter? I thought that was, yeah, his. Oh boy. Okay, so Kumba didn't get the letter, so he's going to be doing beatless, what's known as the beatless route. So he won't have the bird, which means he's going to rely on some more Buster fights. And TempestMask took a death kind of near the end of the stage. That's a pretty bad death. Oh boy, beatless. Okay, and Kumba does a few hops at the end there, and that's to, for some reason, it gets rid of the low gravity, so you can the animation will go faster. Mega Man will jump in the air and do that whole animation with normal gravity instead of the slow, low gravity. So TempestMask took another death, pretty far from the checkpoint. You guys are going to notice that this game drops a lot of 1-ups, so we're likely not going to see any game overs, but it is possible. And Kumba going to Gyro Man stage next. This is, I want to say that was an accident because he doesn't have the weakness for this boss yet. Normally, the runners after Starman would go to Gravity Man stage. He at least does have his arrows, those trusty arrows. Okay, TempestMask finding his way to Starman. And the Starman fight is pretty simple. You could shoot through his shield if you stand close enough. That's another reason why the Buster is perfectly fine for this fight. And Kumba just going to make his way through Gyro Man stage using only the arrows and Buster. And like I said, he didn't go to Gravity Man stage after Star, so he doesn't have the weakness for this boss, so he's going to just Buster him. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And TempestMask didn't get the grab skip by doing the short hops after killing Starman, and that's why he had the low gravity animation. Oof, and Kumba slides off the one tile. It's gonna bring him back to, not too far, well yeah, that is pretty far. he has to ride the elevator again. Okay, so TempestMask is taking the normal route. He is going to Gravity Man stage. So this could actually catch TempestMask up if he does this stage without any problems. He has the weakness for gravity, which is Starman's weapon. Yeah, so Kumba just taking a quick look at his inventory. He does have to use Buster. So some good charge shots. I don't know if you can see that the charge shot in this game is really OP. It's gigantic, first of all. But one thing to note is that you cannot charge your Buster while you're sliding. So throughout the run, we kind of have to pick and choose where we walk and where we slide. For the most part, it doesn't cause much of a problem. But to newer runners, it does kind of throw them off if you're coming from another charging, sliding Mega Man game, and none of the others behave that way. Every Mega Man game has its little quirks. Okay, so Kumba having no problem bustering down Gyro, so he's probably going to go to Gravity Man next. And TempestMask taking a death from Gravity Man. It is kind of tricky to... it's a scripted fight, he does the same thing every time, but if you're unfamiliar with the pattern, it's easy to take damage there. And he does take a game over. The mythical Mega Man 5 game over. It happened. So that's going to bring him back to the front of the stage, which gives Kumba pretty much a full stage lead. And Gravity Man is a very cool stage. It has this gimmick of flipping the gravity up and making you go upside down. which does invert the controllers. You would then have to hold up to do your slides. And like I said before, neither of these runners have a time on the leaderboard, so I really don't know what to expect from either of them. I know that they have a lot of experience in Mega Man games. I just don't know where they're at in this run in particular. But Kumba, it looks like he definitely knows the route for this stage. Commentator's curse, I mean, it happens. Won't be the last time. And try to even it out, give Kumba a curse next. Okay, so as you can see, Gravity Man he does the same thing every time. He shoots the same time, he jumps the same places. You just have to be at the right place, and you can always hit him. Tempest is going to have to be a little careful. His health is really low. He's running low on ammo as well. Okay, there we go, with his last shot. And Goomba's going to be going to Crystal Man stage now, since he already beat Gyro. Since he's doing the beatless routes, he doesn't need to gather any of the letters, so he can actually employ this skip here in Crystal Man, which is the crystal skip. He could skip this entire stage by taking an intentional death right here at this bobblehead guy. And the second bobblehead guy on the screen kind of reveals whether it worked or not. If he spawns without his head, that means you know it worked. So Kumba got the Crystal Man skip. He's going to skip this entire stage and go straight to the boss gate. And if you want to know how this works, well, you need to ask somebody else. The reason why this works is something about some memory value, pushing it to like the maximum and giving you the room number. Like, I don't know, like the greatest room number available, and that's basically this checkpoint here. So good job on Kumba getting the crystal skip. Going straight to the boss gate saves about I don't know, like 30 seconds. Could be wrong. I'm sure someone in the chat could call me out on that if that's wrong. But doing beatless, this is one of the great advantages of doing beatless, but it might cost them later on for having to do the buster fights without beats. Oh, and TempestMask taking a death from the Stomper here in Gyro stage. It is kind of tricky to avoid that gyro if you're not used to the timing. Okay, so Kumba now in Napalm Man stage. This is where we first see the tigers. A lot of newer runners have issues with the tigers. This game has a lot of enemies that are triggered when you shoot, and the tigers being one of them. So you can kind of manipulate them to get out of your way and slide underneath them. And these little spike drills, they're actually just like normal spikes. They will kill you if you make contact with them. So you got to be very careful there. And they do respawn at the end of that hallway, so you got to make sure that your timing is correct. And Kumba doing a good job getting pretty much all of the arrow strats. As you can see, arrows kind of just let you skip a ton of platforming, huge horizontal sections, and they're not bad for vertical climbing as well. And TempestMask is going to want to be careful grabbing this letter there. Okay. You gotta let the block fall from underneath you. What is Kumba doing? Okay, I seriously don't know what Kumba is trying to do here. Is this some kind of skip? Okay, looks like he's bailing on it, whatever that was. I wouldn't be surprised if Kumba knows some tricks here that no one really does, since he's such a well-versed ROM hack runner. For the most part, you don't really see anybody use the rush coil in this game. This is probably the worst rush coil in Mega Man history. And Kumba have an easy fight with Napalm. You kind of want to stay far from Napalm so that he shoots his missiles at you instead of his laggy Napalm bombs. And Tempest Mask getting out of the gyro fight with 1 HP, that's all you need. That is an exact ammo fight, so you really want to respect the invincibility frames of the boss. You don't want to just smash your weapon away. Kumba really thinking about the stage order here. Okay, so we are now in Stoneman stage, and this is where they introduce these baby Mets. In my opinion, they're the worst Mets ever. And since Tempest Mask is doing the beat route, he will play the crystal stage so that he can acquire the letter that is hidden in the stage. He's not going to be, is he? Okay, no, he's not going for the arrow strat, so he's going to use the star shield, which is a safe alternative for making it past all of those crystal droppers. It can be really scary to traverse under those falling crystals because after the first drop of crystals, each one after that is kind of RNG about which timing you get. Yeah, and we see there Tempest Mask was trying to play it safe, but the timing just didn't work out on that last crystal dropper there, so he's going to have to start from the beginning of crystal. And in the Stoneman stage, once you use all of your arrows, you then switch to jet. This game has a really good rush jet. When you call him, he spawns quickly, and you can jump on him easily. Definitely one of the best rush jets. Not as broken as Mega Man 3's jet, though. Okay, so Stoneman can give you these big jumps, which crumble him and make him invulnerable to damage, or he can give you what we call the happy jumps, the short jumps. That was a very angry Stone. A lot of big jumps. Okay, and Tempest Mask getting through that room. That room kills so many runs. He's gonna have to... Is he going to reset the room? No, he's gonna switch to jet. Okay. I swear, Kumba's looking at like the wiki to see what stage is next. He does not normally run this game very. This is my first time seeing him run this game. But he is pulling off these arrow strats perfectly. As you can see here, just using the remainder of his arrow ammo to make it past this long screen. And the thing about arrow is, it costs 2 to use it, but all you really need is 1. So if you have 1 left, 1 energy, you can shoot an arrow and ride it forever. And when you do the arrow strats, you're going to see them kind of walk off the front repeatedly. The reason why they do that is because it saves some ammo. It drains the ammo slower. So anything that we can do to keep our era ammo, we do it. And that's why the route is so very specific as to how much ammo is used on what screen, just so we know that we have enough for the upcoming screen. Okay, and the Chargeman fight is one of the most difficult fights to optimize. We like to start the fight with a half charge and a full charge, but Kumba did one full charge, and he's going to use the Power Stone for the remainder of the fight. Power Stone might not look like it, but it's definitely one of the worst weapons ever. Extremely laggy, really hard to hit stuff. I don't know if he meant to switch the gyro at the end there, but I think that was a good call. We paused to despawn all of the stones that didn't hit charge, man, so we could shoot again. Because normally you wouldn't be able to shoot until all of them either hit something or go off screen. So just pausing after each shot is what we're forced to do. Oh, and TempestMask, right when he was trying to exit that hallway there, another drill spawned and killed him. And like I said, those are like normal spikes, moving spikes. So if you touch it, you're dead. And Kumba now arriving at our 8th Robo Master, Wave Man. We're going to be using the charge kick that we got from Chargeman to go through those fountains, I guess. Those leaks. And here, Kumba is going for the bubble skip. The thing is, they want you to ride those big bubbles, but they are extremely slow. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, so he is going to ride, at least, yeah, he's going to ride the big bubbles the whole way. What we try to do is hop on the small bubble right at the top of the screen so it transitions with you. Oh, and he's going for boat skip. Okay, never mind. No. Or maybe he went for it, but he didn't get his jump in time. It looked like Kumba was going for boat skip. It is possible to shoot your arrows and then ride it all the way up to where this wave rider is, and then do a quick slide jump to jump over the boat. And if you do it right, you could skip the boat. You still have to do this long auto scroller, but you can keep your buster out. You'll have charge shot, and you'll be free to slide and even go off screen, so you don't even have to fight enemies. You do still have to fight this mini boss no matter what. But if you go for boat skip and you fail, if you land at the wrong spot, you can soft lock the game. So pretty risky to go for that in a race. And in the event that someone soft locks, they'll just reset and use a password to get back to Waveman. Of course, they'll have to start at the beginning of the stage. Tempest taking a death over here. I don't think that was too bad because he was still near the checkpoint. Alright, so Kumba coming to the end of the auto-scroller, and right there, that cutscene of Mega Man jumping off and walking is one of the big reasons why we want to do the boat skip, just to avoid that cutscene. If you do the boat skip, you'll have full control over Mega Man, and you can just slide and get out of there faster instead of watching that. Okay, and Kumba is out of the 8 Robo Masters. Tempest is very low on health. Is he going to? Yeah, he's going to E-Tank. Okay. Oh, I thought that jump was short. Okay. He's being very mindful of these spikes. very easy to just brush up against one of those and die. Alright, so Kumba now entering Darkman 1. This is one of the most beloved stages in Mega Man speedruns. A lot of cool movement. And Tempest Mask now fighting Napalm Man. And just like any other weapon, if something is out already, you can't shoot another one. So if you miss with that crystal shot, it ricochets off the wall and just bounces all over the place, and you can't shoot again unless you like pause the screen to despawn it or something. Luckily, he was able to hit Napalm before he was shot because his health was kind of low. And Kumba using Rush Jet to skip these Yoku blocks. We don't have time for Yoku blocks, at least in this Mega Man speedrun. Okay, Darkman 1, this fight can be a little scary. It's pretty easy to shoot and jump over his shots, but he can just start coming at you like really quickly, as we saw there at the end. Luckily, Kumba had enough health to tank enough. And Tempest Mask here, he has to go out of the way to get that letter in Stone Man stage, so that's another time save for Kumba doing the beatless route. For the most part, the letters aren't too much of a hassle, but this one is, you have to go to a different room entirely, so it's kind of costly there. And Tempest Mask accidentally sliding into that enemy, which killed him. This game is weird, different from the other Mega Man games where the regular enemies, have iframes. They have invincibility frames. So if you're mashing, only like not all of them are going to actually damage the enemy. So it looked like he mashed really fast and then just slid, assuming that the enemy was dead. But not the case in Mega Man 5. You have to actually space your shots out. So if you're not good at mashing, this is a good Mega Man run to consider. And looked like Kumba was trying to do a Rush Jet strat in that room. I've never seen that before, but unfortunately he spawned Rush Jet too high and just bonked on those spikes. Oh, and yeah, Kumba went a little bit too fast in that room, so he hit the rolling saw spike, which made him fall down, and there's nothing but spikes down there. This gives Tempest an opportunity to make up some ground. He does still have quite a ways to go to catch up. And this room here with the conveyor belts, this has killed so many runs for me. Even though it's the same thing every time, it's just so easy to make a misstep. Oh, and Tempest Mask, he was riding those platforms to the top, but when he switched over to Jet, it kind of kind of intersected with the platform, and the platform kind of took Tempest away. I don't think he was. I mean, obviously he wasn't prepared for that, or wasn't expecting it. He tried to jump back on Rush Jet to get that E-Tank, but yeah, Rush Jet had gone too far by then. Okay, so this fight here, Darkman 2, this would normally be a fight you do with beats, but since Kumba did the beatless route, he's just using charge shots, which is perfectly fine if you can time it. And I would say that's a pretty good fight. For the most part, all of the Buster fights, instead of using beats, is just fine, except for the very end. The last fight, it'll be all RNG whether or not Kumba can actually hit him with the Buster. And you'll see that once you get there. Tempest has to actually respawn these platforms here so that he could get to the top. He really wanted that E-Tank, but it looks like he's just going to forget it. And Kumba taking a death in the first screen of Dark 3, that is very common. Pretty tricky room. The Mega Man speedrunner is actually called the stage that Kumba's on, the Widowmaker, because it has killed so many runs. And TempestMask taking a death right before Stone Man's boss gate, and that's a game over. That's a really tough death. Now he has to do the whole stage over again. That's the second game over. Kumba's arrows are a bit wide here. He has to be careful. Okay. Perfectly fine. He has the correct height. They were just a little wide apart for that strat there. That's a very important arrow strat to get because it skips so much in a really slow part of the stage, which is essentially an auto-scroller, as you would normally have to ride this block snake across. And we have one last arrow strat here. Okay, looks like he's going to take the high road. And just hang out here for a little bit while the enemies pass underneath. If you have the energy to do 2 arrows, I would say that's a safe call. Normally you only have enough energy for 1 arrow, but Kumba's doing some different strats here. And Kumba fighting the Darkman 3 now. This boss is completely, for the most part, manipulatable. If you stand close, he'll fire those donut circles at you. If he hits you with the circles, you're frozen into place, and it's easy to just lose your timing and make him shoot them in the wrong direction. Mega Man 5 and Rockman 5, they're both on the same leaderboard. There is a different timing since the Japanese text is faster in the cutscenes. They are automatically adjusted for in the leaderboards. As for here, I'm not sure what version they're running. The next time Tempest menus, I need to look at his letters, because in Rockman, of course, yeah, he's playing Rockman. Okay, the letters spelled Rockman, so he's playing the Japanese version. I assume Kumba's doing the same, so we don't have to worry about any timing differences with the text, which is really in the cutscene that Kumba's about to get into after he beats Darkman 4. This is a pretty tough fight to do with the Buster. When TempestMask gets here, he's going to have beats since he's collecting the letters. but since Kumba skips the letters, he's forced to do the charge shots, and it's kind of hard to get the timing right because he has those shields. Okay, there we go. And at the end of the fight, you want to get to the left side. Normally, at the end of the robot bosses, you want to get to the middle of the room so that Mega Man doesn't have to walk there. Oh, that was pretty cool. Tempest takes a D boost and just goes over those last few spikes there. So Kumba's going to be going into Wily 1, and after this, Tempest only has, well, he has two more robots masters before he gets into the dark stages. And Wily 1 is a pretty hard stage. A lot of things can go wrong here. A lot of important arrow strats, and movement is very important here. During that long fall with all the spikes, you can go towards the right, and it doesn't scroll the screen properly. So that's what happened to Kumba. He went too far to the right, and the enemies were just in the wrong place, so it kind of spooked him a bit. Okay, let's see if Tempest can get the arrow straps in this long room here to avoid. Yeah, he's gonna have to slide. Oh, the ricochet of the arrow actually knocked him off. Okay, so Kumba using the last of his arrows to get past the screen. That screen sucks without arrows, trust me. Okay, this is a very dangerous part of the stage, the crushers. And like I said, mashing helps, but there are enemy iframes. Okay, it looks like he's just gonna play it safe and make sure that he can make it through. There we go. As long as you don't die there, it's good crushers. Oh, didn't get chicken jump. 2 hits from the chicken. The run is not validated, unfortunately. I'm just gonna have to reset this game. Kumba's health is extremely low. Normally you deboost past all of these guys. He doesn't have any E-tanks, so... And he skipped the E-tank at the beginning of the stage. I wonder if he regrets that. Is he gonna take... Yeah, he's gonna take an intentional death. In Tempest Mask, collecting the letter here in Chargeman stage. He's using Gravity's weapon. I've never seen that used outside of Napalm Man stage. And he only has 1 health left. This looks too high for him to do the arrows. Yeah. Okay, so Kumba getting out of Wily 1. Tempest Mask unfortunately takes a death, so he's going to have to do the chicken room again, which is a really fun room. But it's not fun if you're using Buster. Normally you switch to Crystal Eye. Okay, and Wily 2 is pretty much the last real stage of the run that Kumba's in. There's a very scary underwater section here where the platforming is... Oh, try to do the 3 Raiden slides. The Raiden slides, we call it Raidens because of a runner that went by that name. It's slides where you try to make it fit from one very end of the ledge, one very end of a platform to the other end, without canceling your slide. And the thing is, in this game, if you're sliding underwater, you can't jump out of your slide. So you're gonna have to do what Kumba just did right there, turn back. So I don't know if he tried to jump out of the slide, forgetting that you can't do that in this game. But the death surely reminded him. And doing the turnbacks is what you have to do if you're underwater or underneath a ladder. You can't jump out of your slide if you're underneath a ladder as well. So just one of the many quirks in this game. And TempestMask needs to be very careful. Okay. I don't know if that was an intentional death, but he just slid right into the charge. Probably was. I think Kuma's gonna have to take a hit here. Okay, no. Third jump got him through. Alright, this is one of the most hated bosses. That's Q9. You can only hit him when he opens his door. It doesn't matter if you take a D-boost and go right into his hitbox. He actually doesn't have a hitbox unless his doors are open. And his weakness is gyro, and while you're jumping all over the place, it's so easy to accidentally press up or down and misdirect your gyro in the wrong way. So that was a pretty good fight. His health was a bit low. I was a little worried, but he got out of there just fine. And TempestMask finishing up Charge Man, so he's going to be going into his last RoboMaster stage. Okay, yes, the Charge Man death was intentional. Tempest is saying. Alright, so Kumba coming into refights. That must have been coming into Charge Man's refight. That must be a mistake because you can skip all of the you can skip 7 of the refights in this game. The only one you have to do is Napalm Man, which is underneath the teleport capsule of Charge Man. So maybe he was trying to slide over to the ladder quickly, and he accidentally slid all the way into the teleporter. This is not a boss that you want to fight twice. Okay, it looks like Kuma's trying to do the refight skip, but okay, yeah, just he tried to do it in that first teleporter room in that first teleporter capsule since he already fought Charge Man, because the teleporter does have to be empty for it to work. Yeah, it is possible. I've seen it done with Rush Jet, not with the arrows. So yes, we fight Napalm here in the center, so we could use the ladder and put a arrow just like that, and you could slide right through the wall, where Wily's waiting. And here at the Wily press fight, it's all RNG. How fast Wily comes down and becomes vulnerable. You can go back and forth up there 3 or 5 or 7 times. So of course you want the 3s. And it looks like Tempest is having an issue riding the bubbles to the top at Waveman stage. That's the second time I saw him ride the big bubble here. Alright, and Kumba finishing up Wily Press, and he does get the quick teleport. There's a thing when you do the refight skip that after you beat Wily Press, you teleport out of the fight faster than normal. We're not entirely sure why that happens, but it saves time. Alright, and Kumba into the last stage. It's a really short stage, just making your way to the boss state where you're going to face off with Wily. Since Kumba did the beatless strat, he's not going to have the bird. for the capsule fight, so he's going to be completely dependent on the RNG. And he's low on arrows too, so he's going to have to use Buster. And his health is kind of pretty low, I would say. The capsule does, I think, 6 damage, so he could take 1 hit. Alright, so he's hoping for low spawns here. I'm not sure how many different spots Wily can appear here, but a lot of them are out of reach from the Buster. There is a trick to use gyro weapon to see where his spawn is going to be, which is what Kumba did right there. So this time it's out of reach, so he's going to switch to gyro just to get at least 1 or 2 hits in. Gyro does 1 damage each. Okay, again, he's out of reach, so he's going to have to stick to gyro. Yeah, this is pretty bad RNG. If he has to use gyro most of the time, that's bad RNG. And he has to be very careful. He can't take a hit. The current world record of this game is the beatless routes, doing the Buster fight here and just getting very lucky. And if anyone wants to beat that, it's probably going to require a beatless route again, plus a lot of luck. Temp is taking a lot of damage throughout the auto-scroller section here in Waveman, so he's going to have to be really careful. Yeah, okay, he took a hit from one of the dolphins. He's going to have to do the auto-scroller part again. Alright, Kumba just 1 hit away. Alright, and Kumba finishes with 44-13. GG. Oh, come on, that wasn't commentator cursed. It's only commentator cursed if I say something good, right? Like, he's doing great. Oh no. Alright, switching over to Tempest audio. And it's easy to take damage in the auto-scroller section here if you don't know where things spawn. I still don't have everything memorized. Another runner, Papat, who's the top runner, he actually told me, he literally wrote down when everything comes up, and I still don't remember. And you want to have some health for this fight. Tempest has enough health, so he's in good position to do this fight without any problems, since the charge kick requires you to enter Waveman's hitbox. It's very easy to take damage, almost required to take damage. Okay, there we go. Finished up with his 8 Robot Masters, so now he's going to be going into the dark stages. And Tempest doesn't have a timer up, so I don't. Won't be able to gauge this time. What's happening? Okay. Okay. So he's going to call it there. Understandable. GG. Okay, so let me just get word from our runners to see if they're ready for the next race. Maybe they might need a minute or two. Just hang on a sec. Okay, we're going to give our runners a quick break and they'll be back momentarily. I just want to remind everyone this is the Mega Man 5 tournament. This is the last round 1 race. And just do !MM5 to see the bracket and the schedule. The winner of this set will face the Pot Dot in the next round. Welcome again to the Mega Man 5 tournament. We are just preparing our next best out of 3 race. Kumba won the first one with a 44-minute finish, 13 seconds. And TempestMask unfortunately had run into some hard times and forfeited. So we're just getting the next match prepared. Okay, so I'm going to be counting them down now. Good luck to both of these runners, and we'll be starting in just a few moments. Alright, I've given them the countdown. They're going to have to reset first because there is a weird thing that happens in this game. If you let the cutscene play, the arrows in this game will behave weirdly. Alright, and we're off. So good luck again. So like always, we're going to start at Starman stage. This is kind of the replacement for our normal water stage because there's low gravity here, so you can jump way up in the air and it's full of spikes just like you would expect. And the reason why we come here is because not only do you get Starman's weapon at the end, but you get this great utility weapon called Super Arrow. And Super Arrow is what this whole run is routed around. And you'll see why after the stage is over. And throughout all of the Aerobos Master stages, you're going to see these letters that are hidden throughout the stage. Kumba is not going to be collecting these letters, while TempestMask is. So that means Kumba is doing the beatless route, and Tempest is doing the beat yes route. If when you collect all of the eight letters, you get beat the bird, which is an extra weapon that becomes very useful towards the end of the run. Tempest taking an unfortunate death, but was that 2 deaths really quickly? By the way, it's right next to the checkpoint, so it's not that bad. Okay, there's a third one. And this is a good stage to start off with, apart from getting the super arrow, because Buster kind of destroys Starman. You can shoot right through his shield if you stand close enough. It is RNG whether or not Starman shoots his shield at the top or at the bottom, so you kind of need to just be prepared for either one. Okay, and Kumba teleporting out at around 214, not a bad Starman. And Tempest taking another death on that same spike there. It's pretty easy to not jump at the correct height with all of the low gravity going on. Okay, and Kumba going to Gravity Man next. So last run, of course, it was a stage select error. You accidentally went to Gyro second. But the star weapon is the weakness for gravity, so you do want to come here. And he pulls out the super arrow, and as you can see, for at least a short while in this stage, that the super arrow allows you to traverse horizontally very quickly. And if placed at the right height, you can avoid a lot of the enemies. And just kind of needle your way through things. And you're also going to see our runners tiptoe right at the front of the arrow. You're actually falling off the arrow and then falling back onto it, and that saves some ammo. And Tempest at the Starman boss right now, so this should be difficult for him. And that was a pretty good gravity stage for Kumba. The Gravity Man fight is completely scripted, so he shouldn't take any damage here. And there we go. So Kumba going to be a stage ahead of Tempest Mask as they teleport at around the same time. And as we come into Gyro Man for Kumba, we're going to see a great demonstration of why Super Arrow is so good. If we could get it. Okay, yeah, I knew it. I didn't see Kumba reset at the beginning, so he's going. So now his arrows are going to behave a little bit differently. The game is going to allow him to walk off the front of it. That's not a good thing, because now he can't do the tiptoes and conserve energy. He started the run after allowing the intro cutscene to play, and for some reason that just messes with the way arrows behave. It's okay, Buster music will fix everything. Alright, so Tempest Mask starting his gravity fight. The gravity stage is a bit shorter than Gyro, so it would be normal for him to arrive to the boss first. And Kumba making quick work of Gyro Man with the gravity weapon. That is an exact ammo weapon, so exact ammo fight, so you want to make sure that you respect the boss's invincibility frames. So I wonder how Kumba's going to... Oh yeah, he does. He's going to do crystal skip since he's doing the beatless route, so he doesn't have to worry too much about the arrows misbehaving. So this is the biggest difference with the two routes that they're doing, since Kumba doesn't need to gather the letter in any of the stages. He can do what's known as the crystal skip, where you intentionally take damage all the way until you have 1 health left, and then die to this bobblehead right here. And you know it worked because that second bobblehead enemy spawned without a head. So what's happening here is he's actually being warped to the furthest most checkpoint, which is of course the boss corridor. So when Kumba respawns, he'll be at the boss corridor and could fight Crystal Man right away. You just have to wait a little bit. But it saves a bunch of time. And Tempest Mask respecting the Stomper here in Gyro this time. Very good. Okay, Tempest unfortunately takes a death on the block here since he's getting the beat letters. You have to ride a couple of those blocks downwards, and for some reason it's very difficult to jump off of those sometimes. But it's okay because that's the checkpoint room. So Kumba beginning to pull ahead a little bit more now. And Tempest, seeing the energy drop, decides to switch to super arrow so he can just ride the arrow through that second to last screen there. Super arrow is so good, everyone's always fishing for ammo sometimes. Oh, Kumba got really close to that spike, the spectral there. Okay, this is one of the rooms where you want to ride super arrow and... Oh, okay, he's not falling off. I guess he somehow fixed the issue. There are ways to fix the way arrows behaving if you happen to let the cutscene play at the beginning. And he's doing it again. He's using coil here to do some kind of skip, I guess, but I've never seen it before. Like, I really want it to work. Please, Kumba, do it. Get it. What is it? No. Tempest Mask getting the arrow strat this time around, going past all of those crystal droppers, which... Oh, and on the screen as well, since Eddie gave him a lucky drop. He's riding Jet. That's a really awkward place to be. Okay, he switches to Star. Good choice. Good choice. Kumba always goes beatless. I'm not sure. This is actually the first time I've seen him run this game because he's a Mega Man ROM hack runner. Both of these runners actually don't have a time on the leaderboard, so going into this, I had no idea what to expect from either of them. And Tempest needs to be very careful. His health is extremely low. Even one of those little mice will kill him at this point. I don't know what their PBs are. I've never seen a recorded time for either of them other than the first race for Kumba. But as far as I could see, Kumba knows the route, he knows the strats, he's pulling off most of them really well. He's even doing some stuff that I've never seen before. So he could easily have a sub 40 time in this. Oh, and he was just one energy short of the third arrow, so he's going to have to play the screen normally. Usually you want to put 3 arrows right at the start to get up high, and then just go above all of this. Rush Jet, not a bad alternative, it's just a slower and laggier. Oh, that was actually really close by Kumba. Almost did some damage on that platform, which the knockback would have killed him. And Tempest now in Napalm Man stage, dealing with these tigers. Those tigers do a bunch of damage if they manage to hit you. Okay, Kumba's health is pretty low, but normally you don't take any damage in this fight. You just gotta distance yourself properly since the napalm weapon is kind of close range. It kind of just dribbles onto the floor. Okay, I didn't actually see where Tempest died, but he is at the beginning of the stage again. Okay. This time around, he's respecting the spike drills that did kill him in the last race. Kumba on pretty good pace here, now already in Charge Man stage. And TempestMask using the arrows to get past this waterfall room. It's one of the worst rooms to do without arrows, in my opinion. Kumba had an okay height to do the arrow strat here in charge, but a little bit too high, which would require him to slide underneath that enemy. Fortunately, he didn't get the slide off in time, or he wasn't standing far back on the arrow enough in order to slide. Kumba is now in one of the best rooms in this game, the freaking room. Ooh, and TempestMask taking a death here in Napalm, and that's a game over. Kumba is doing the beatless route. He did crystal skip. He's not collecting any of the letters. And last race, he did perfectly fine with all the buster strats. So he definitely knows how to do beatless. Oh, Tempest run! Kumba had a 44 last run. Alright, and Kumba taking now Charge Man with the worst weapon, Stone. So Tempest Mask making his way through these spike drills again. And just like any regular enemy in Mega Man 5, those two have iframes, so matching them doesn't help. You need to time your shot. Those drills actually only have 3 HP. It doesn't feel that way when you're matching though. Alright, and Kumba getting into the last Robot Master, Wave Man. So let's see if he can get Bubble Skip this time. Both of these runners went for Bubble Skip in the last race. Neither of them got it. Look, okay, Kumba didn't get it the first time. He tried to do a backup and that didn't work out. His arrows are really low now, so now he's kind of forced to just do it the normal way and ride the slow bubble. Tempest takes a death over here at the Gorilla Room. Luckily, it is the checkpoint room, so he's right back there. And it looks like he's gonna go for. Okay, never mind. Or maybe he did. He was gonna go for it again. Looked like he was setting up to do the boat skip since he walked to the back end of the arrows. But failing it in that way is not bad. Failing it the other way where you soft lock the game is bad. Okay, Tempest is gonna have to be really careful here. I'm not sure if he has an E-Tank. Oh, he grabbed one on this stage, so he might save it for later though. Oh, that was a game over. That's really unfortunate. You're gonna have to do that whole stage again. And Kumba nearing the end of the auto scroller here at Wave Man. Yeah, I said it before, Tempest Mask has a lot of heart. I've raced him in several Mega Man 6 races. Definitely a good sport. Alright, and Kumba using a charge kick to get rid of Wave Man. He did have the health for the fight. That fight can be a bit dangerous because you take quite a bit of damage in the fight. Alright, Tempest just going to climb to the top of the ladder for the free setup of the arrows there. He was hoping to get an energy drop because 2 arrows are required to do this room. He can try it. Okay, he's just gonna deboost. Alright, and Kumba coming into Dark 1. Banger alert. Jumped a little bit too short there. Might have been the lag. Oh, and Tempest taking a death from the Stomper. The Stomper did a ton of damage. Three Tigers on screen and Rush Kit. That was a ton of lag. Again, he's gotta be very careful. Okay. Using his last bit of arrow energy to get past that section there. Oh, and he falls into the pit there. So TempestMask having some issues here in Napalm. Kumba, his health is a bit low. This boss fight can go very badly if the boss chooses to just run at you or roll at you quickly. Oh, and here he comes. No E-tanks. Oh my god. Yeah. We should have plenty of lives since this is Mega Man 5, so it's fine. TempestMask shooting those missiles, I've actually never seen them die. I don't even know if they can die, but you can shoot them. TempestMask with 2 missed shots, so the Crystal Eye is going to ricochet and bounce off the walls until it either hits something or despawns, or you can pause the game to force to despawn it. Unfortunately, taking too much damage, and Napalm Man kills him. I didn't get to see how many lives he has left. And this is a very tough game indeed. Casually, you know, it's not too bad, I would say, because it drops a lot of health and 1-ups, but the speedrun is very tricky. A lot of things can go wrong. That was a scary drop for Kumba. Normally you have full health in that room, so you wouldn't have to worry about drops, but it's happened to me a ton of times where you take unintentional damage at the start, and then you just get a drop on one of those conveyor belts and die. Alright, so Kumba's health is a bit low. He's gonna have to be, he's gonna have to be really careful. Anything will kill him at this point. And since he did the beatless route, he doesn't have beats for this boss. This would be the first boss to use beat with. Okay, he's gonna choose to get that health over there. Good idea. And like I said before, a lot of enemies in this game are triggered when you shoot, including the tigers, so you kind of want to manipulate when they jump. And just like that, his health is all the way back down to 1. So he doesn't have a beat for this fight. it's a buster fight without beat, so he's just gonna have to be very careful not to touch him. Clutch. And Tempest Mask, getting through stone using the arrow strats to and he's gonna refill with that big drop. Very nice. Alright, and Kumba now into Darkman 3, one of the hardest stages in the run. So he has to be careful. Okay, he just waited. Recognized that he didn't shoot the cone on time, and he couldn't jump underneath the helicopter Joe in time, so he just waited. Right, and this is a very good room to use arrows on. Ooh. Normally you would ride the arrow long enough to jump over that last met, but he was running a bit low. And since he's doing the beatless routes, he doesn't have the M tank that he normally would. Yeah, he skipped it when he skipped the Crystal Main stage. Okay, so now that he's low on arrow energy, I'm not sure what he's going to choose to do here. Yeah, he's going to bust through the screen. Okay. So this is the normal beatless route to bust through that screen and save your arrows for a later part. Okay, right here. Oh, he was standing right at the front of the arrow, so he couldn't slide properly to get underneath that platform. So now he has no choice but to ride the snake, which is essentially an auto-scroller. Nice corner jump, Kumba. Grabbing the 1-up and beating. Tempest Mask here, fighting Stone Man. Not a difficult fight, getting out of there just fine. Okay, so Kumba is going to M-tank here. He's like mixing up beats and beatless strats. It's really interesting to see. And riding the arrow on this last screen so he doesn't have to ride the last slow snake. Okay, and Darkman 3 is a pretty straightforward fight. Just get close to him so he only shoots and avoid his donuts or onion rings, whatever you want to call them. Or Cheerios. It looked like Tempest Mask was fishing for some arrow energy, but he accidentally picked it up with Busty Equipped. Oh, there he goes, right there, getting that small drop. Really going out of his way for that energy. But it can be very useful on the second to last screen once he gets out of this. Normally, Runners use Crystal Eye in the chicken room because 3 shots will kill the big chicken, and you don't have to worry about shooting too high for those short, little mice, because your buster will go right over them unless it's charged. Okay, so Kumba, since he doesn't have beats, he's going to be doing this fight buster only. It can be pretty tricky. It's RNG whether or not he shoots or releases his shield at you. That was a really good fight. And like always, you want to get to the left side of the screen because the cutscene puts Mega Man there. So you want to just be there already. And like always, Wily revealing that it was him all along. Big surprise. Tempest Mask unfortunately didn't get the arrow strap to work out here, so he's going to have to just buster them as normally. And Tempest has to be very careful. Wow, the gorilla does a ton of damage. He still has to be careful because charge, it's very easy to take damage in charge. And this is why Power Stone is terrible. It's so hard to hit enemies. And you can see Tempest Mask pausing to despawn the stone so that he can fire again. Unfortunately, he takes contact damage, which will be enough to kill him. Alright, Kumba doing the arrow strat here to get past this long room. It's a very good room to use arrow on, and the placement of that arrow is actually really precise, so good job, Kumba. And using the last bit of energy to get past this conveyor area here, which really sucks to do normally. And we want to switch to Buster because Buster is the only weapon that can actually explode these blocks. Alright, getting out of the Crusher room unscathed, so that's good. Again, not getting crystal jumps, so I don't know guys, I don't know if these runs are valid. But did I say crystal jump? I meant chicken jump. Alright, looks like he has enough health to do a quicker fight here where he takes some intentional damage. Okay, I don't know what that was, but that was some version of a quick kill. Definitely quicker than a casual. But normally you would take deboost from those body parts that come out, and you actually zip to the back of his head, to the back of Big Pet's head, and you could shoot him from there. Alright, Tempest Mask in Wave Man now, the last Robo Master him. Looks like he's gonna ride the big bubble on the first screen. We'll see if he tries to do the half bubble skip here. Okay, he's going for it. He's okay. Just gonna ride the big bubble. Okay. Pumbaa in the underwater section of Wily 2, being very mindful that he can't jump out of slides. He did the slide cancel, but unfortunately he kind of jumped too soon, so couldn't make it across there. So like I said before, in this game you can't jump out of your slide when you're underwater, so just like that you're going to want to turn back to cut your slide short to avoid sliding completely off of the ledge. I think that was a good health drop for Kumba. It's very easy to take a lot of damage in the boss fight. Yeah, his health is pretty low here, so it's kind of he's probably going to M-tank during the fight. Or just die. Normally you M-tank somewhere in this stage because that's the last time you're going to need everything refilled, so you might as well do it earlier than later. And TempestMask taking an intentional death from Waveman because you definitely need at least half health to fight him, since Charge Kick puts you right into his hitbox. Yeah, Kumba has the one M-tank. The game doesn't spawn any additional M-tanks in the stage if you already have one in your inventory, because they only allow you to carry one. So normally there would have been an M-tank at the beginning of this stage, but since he already has one, it wasn't there. Okay, he goes into the correct boss teleporter this time, so he doesn't have to fight Charge Man, thankfully. So he's going to just take care of Napalm, which is a really fun boss fight. Use his M-tank to refill his arrows, and let's see the refight skip, guys. And he actually does the one arrow setup, which is really difficult. Good for him. He tried to read Wily's pattern so that he could get up there with arrows, so that he could hit him at the top and at the bottom for double hit, but it didn't work out. Looks like he's gonna just settle for the single hits and pray for good RNG. Wily press could go back and forth at the top there either 3, 5, or 7 times. So we're hoping for 3s, and then come down for the hit. And Tempest using arrows to get through this Metroid room. Oh, arrow and jet. And coil. Alright, so Kumba out of refights. Finish with the press, the Wily press. So this is the final stage for Kumba. He's definitely on pace to beat his last race time. He doesn't have beats, so he will be at the mercy of capsule RNG, which is what we all call Casino, a Wily Casino. Okay, and he has no E-tank, so he has plenty of health, should be fine. That's a good spawn right there. He's gonna take a hit here. Kind of unavoidable if he spawns on the side you're on. Another good spawn. Looks like TempestMask takes the death to the Walker here in Dark 1. but luckily that's the checkpoint room. And Kuma getting 2 charge shots in, that's great. That's exactly what you want when you're doing beatless. If you could get 2 charge shots in on each cycle, that would be ideal. Alright, using gravity to reveal Wily's next spawn location. So he saw that he would be out of range, so he switches to gyro to get hopefully 2 hits in. Yeah, now he's getting a ton of high spawns, so he has no choice but to use gyro, which only does 1 tick of damage each. Yeah, so you could switch to gravity, and as soon as Wily's orbs disappear, you can fire it, and that'll reveal his next spawn location. You gotta be really careful here. This should be it. Yeah. And GG Kumba, finishing it up with 4225. So Kumba going to win this set of races. Two wins will give him the victory, and he's going to face Kapat.1 in the next round. So GG Kumba. So Tempest is definitely doing a lot better than the last race. I've actually never seen Arrow used there. Yeah, I've never seen Arrow used there. Did jump off really high, so he went into the spike. Seeing a lot of alternative strats in this race, which is pretty cool. I really wish that that coil skip that Kumba was trying to do worked in Napalm stage. I actually never noticed those spikes on the ceiling there. Tempest takes the same death using the arrows. I'm always worried about falling into the pit there. Okay, is he going to? Yeah, I was wondering if he was just going to ride the to just do it normally and take the conveyor belt. It's a really tough room. I've lost a lot of runs to that room. Okay, so it looks like Tempest Mask is going to forfeit. So so that's it. Kumba wins 2-0. He's going to be moving on to round two to face Pot.1. GG to both of you. Yeah, and give it up for both of these runners. It's a really hard run. I know both of them, especially Tempest, picked it up right before the tournament, so really new to this run, but still held his own, getting through Robos, and uh, some dark stages. So yeah, GG's guys. Okay, so that's going to be it for us tonight. We do have another race tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern between Dark Terex and Kaiser Krister. So be sure to watch that. That'll be on SpeedGaming 4. And again, that's 3 p.m. Eastern. Exclamation point MM5 to see the bracket and the schedule. And I know Tempest has a marathon run to get to, so we're going to be calling it here. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Make sure to catch the remaining races. Good luck to Kumba and the rest of his races and all of his ROM hack shenanigan stuff. So again, thank you both to the runners. Make sure you give them both a follow. Uh, and everyone, have a great night.